TGIF, everybody, and there was a lunar eclipse last night here in the U.S. I didn't see it. It was visible. And something else that's pretty visible. How are you, Richard? You want? Okay, timeless wisdom. Okay, write this down. Trade markets, not money. How's that? Do you know what I mean? Okay, so here's crude. So it's, I believe the news is because of COVID restrictions. We haven't had the SPR release, have we? Hello, Ryan.
Hey, Dale, you okay?
Yeah. So is this $3.20 decline because of COVID in Europe, or did Biden release something from the SPR?
I think it's a bit of a mix of both. We've got talk that he's trying to get other countries to join in a release of reserves.
Okay.
Japan seems to be sort of on it. South Korea, maybe not. We'll have to see what the others think. But also on top of that, we've got this ever decreasing situation going on in Europe with the virus, or worsening situation. Yeah.
Yeah. So, if you were short this, I'd at least be taking half. I'm now going to be starting to look for lows here. Okay. So I've been bearish for, I don't know, a month and a half or so, said this was just going to be a correction. I still think we could see new highs in crude. So I think this is most of it. It looks like, originally I thought we were going to, head towards this confluence. Maybe it still does. Anyway, if you were short, there's nothing wrong with ringing the register. And what I mean by trading markets rather than money is, I know even on the floor, a lot of guys had monetary goals every week. And they start thinking about, and a lot of people do on their trades, they go, oh, I have this made or I have this loss. You should be thinking the market's breaking through resistance or going through support, or is that a fib level, or a moving average has just been taken out. And you don't think about the money. You just think about what the market's telling you on the instrument that you're trading. The money will take care of itself, but a lot of people, when you start thinking money, it has a tendency to maybe take you out of a trade, because you don't want to see that monetary gain slip away. But if you look at the market, you would go, hey, the market has more to offer. Let's just stick with the market. Who understands what I'm saying about trading the market instead of trading money? You guys get that? And do you recognize that in yourself? Oh, I've got $2,000 made.
We were having exactly that conversation in the room, a lengthy conversation with a lot of the guys in there. Things like taking profit too early, and not managing trades as well as perhaps people could, and it's a psychological thing.
Yeah,
a very big psychological thing, and you bang on, just as you bang on with calling the short in oil here. Yeah,
and and look at this. The euro is there COVID concerns, and this is something that we could talk about right away. Is that yesterday, even though we came off and we had this confirmed high, it said buy the break, because this was not going to be the high where it was confirmed. So I know it's a simple technique to know about confirmed highs and lows, but it does give you something actionable. So the people that poo-poo oscillators because they're using them wrong just for overbought and oversold, the market message in the dollar the other day was, yes, it could pull back, it's overdone, but that's not the high because momentum confirmed price. And that's the end of my lecture today. So interested in, and I do believe that we're in the zone for the next few weeks. I don't know, maybe I was talking 97.5 in the Dixie. based upon, the breakout from, it was this, from 89.5 to 93.5 is 4, would give you 97.50. So, there could be some more upside, but my view is in the next several weeks or so, we should, if this is just a correction from the COVID peak, there are some areas that could turn out to be great dollar selling opportunities coming up. So that's where I'm at on the dollar. And
but what we've been saying this week, if there's going to be a real risk off, is that going to see a run into the dollar? And we've got that today. We're seeing yen buying, Swiss buying, and dollars up against everyone.
Yeah, and the S&Ps are, NASDAQ's been a little bit stronger, but I don't think. Yeah, we did. Look, we made a new high last week. This could be a nice little high here in both of these for just the correction. NASDAQ's in a world of its own, but let's look at the week. About unchanged on the week. The 2-week off number in S&Ps is 46.93. We're right there for the potential of a 2-week reversal. I certainly wouldn't be long up here. I would buy it if it pulled back to prior highs. I think that's what Blake is looking for too. And then maybe we melt up again.
I think that what we've got to be careful of is because the market's on the theme of the virus in Europe. I think if that changes to worries about the virus in the US, I think that's going to be big trouble for stocks. Maybe good for the dollar, but it'll be big trouble for stocks because if they're heading towards another lockdown, that's a big economic hit.
Yeah, and we've moved here in the US, Ryan, from just the older folks getting the booster to now everyone better get one. So that's how they say, there's going to be some problems here in the next 6 weeks or so.
So how was it round your way? Because we've heard from Blake and, his area that it seems that no one really gives two monkeys about the virus. Is there worries where you are? Or
California is politically is the opposite. Well, I don't know. Arizona's kind of changing a little bit, but
No. Arizona is one of those places. It's Arizona, Texas, and Florida. If you want to pretend that there's no virus, come to our states. That's really what it comes down to.
Yeah.
Definitely California is much more strict. I mean, when I was there visiting, moving my mother back, there were signs that said, you and this is going into. I was just going in to grab a coffee, and now they didn't adhere to it, but the coffee place said, if you're a customer and you're coming in, you have to supply a vaccination card. I didn't even have mine on me, and I was like, I just walked in there and grabbed a coffee. It was no big deal. But I mean, that just shows you the difference between Arizona and California.
Oh, and higher compliance. If you look at how things are going, California is blue. Cases are dropping here because of higher vaccination rates, I believe. And you're right, and the mitigation.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So how are you today, buddy?
I'm, you know what? I woke up this morning. I was like, what the hell just happened? And I'm so, well, first of all, Ryan, I got to mention, there's a lot of great comments happening in the chat room today, right? And for those of you that are ForexAnalytix subscribers, I just want to mention that there are upgrades happening this weekend to our chat room. And so we're going to be removing all of these conversations. It's and when they were happening, I was like, oh, who made that funny noise? Did somebody's computer just die? Is that yours, Ryan?
No, that's me. Yeah.
That was you?
Yeah.
That sounds like a cartoon, like your computer just went haywire. Anyway, there's a lot of great conversations happening in the chat room, and that's a shame because this weekend everything in our chat room is getting deleted because we're upgrading. We haven't upgraded our chat room features and functionality for since the beginning. We're as we're updating everything, that's one of the things that has to go, and it's going to delete all of our data, which is unfortunate. But I guess there was some really. Do you want to tell us a little bit about the conversations that were happening in the chat room there this morning?
Yeah, as I mentioned to Blake, we were talking a bit about psychology of trading. It was a couple of the guys in the room were saying how they got out of trades too early. If they just sat and let it run a bit further, they would have, banked a greater move. So we're just having a chat about, what's behind that. Is it a fear of giving back what you already got in margin? Are you worried about the trade from the outset, so you're not really sure about it? And we were talking, what are the ways around that? How you can deal with that, what you can do to mitigate that, and try and stay in a trade a bit longer, because that's what we want to do. We want to try and get on a trade, and if it's a short-term trade or a scalp, see how far you can push it. You try not to get out too early, but the first part of the trade is making sure, trying to get your risk to zero as quickly as possible, because after that, pressure's off. You got a free trade, and let's talk about like the drawbacks of that, and because there's two sides to that coin, right? I mean, I'm with you. I totally agree with what you're saying, but I want to show you, like, this is one of the things that was very frustrating. If you look at right here, our closed patterns in play, this S&P one right here, I'd moved that. And same with the euro, but the euro would have actually just gotten triggered just a bit ago. But I moved the S&P from 47.61 to 47.22, and it was invalidated overnight, and then we dropped. So this is a good example of sometimes it just doesn't work in your favor either, right? Yeah, there's always that.
There is, but
it's when that happens, regularly, then you got to think, well, something's not right. I'm not doing something right. If it happens once or twice, shit happens. That's the market for you.
Right.
If you find that you're getting a run of those sort of things, or you're finding that your stops are getting hit more than your profit targets, that's when you need to stop and think, right, something's not working. I need to perhaps stop trading for a moment, just look at things, look at what I'm doing, and get back into the groove of it.
Yeah, you're right. Hold on. So it was interesting. I was having a private conversation with one of our traders in our community, and I was talking to him. He voiced some concerns and about some things, and I want to talk a little bit about the Forex Analytix community in the chat room, just as we as we're making these changes. This is, by the way, this is the trades room. I was updating the. Oops, shoot! I meant to write that. Let me go ahead and copy that and put it in the general chat room here really quick.
That's detention. Putting stuff in the wrong room.
I know. I could go and delete that too. Well, that's the thing about having multiple chat rooms at once, and this is one of the things that you guys are going to see with the upgrade. Is you notice how we have like a general chat room, trades room, news, research, forex flow. This is Ryan's group, and a lot of the guys that talk more macro in here. We should actually call that FFL room, the macro room is what we should call it, huh, Ryan? I'm just throwing it out.
Yeah, whatever, mate. Yeah.
But anyway, the upgrade will allow us to view multiple rooms at once. So it's not happening immediately. That's like the first step process is we have to upgrade the entire system. Then we have to write that part of the platform. But you're going to be able to see like the general chat room, the trades room, the news and research all at once. And going back to Ryan's conversation, this is the conversation he was talking about this morning. And I mean, I got here right here. Wait, no, I got here. This is how active it's been this morning. I got here somewhere around here. Like, I'm like, I was kind of asking what the hell was going on last night. That was way over here. And you can see how much conversations are happening, right? So there's a big conversation going on before that, before I even stepped in about the conversation Ryan's having. Well, the nice thing is you're going to be able to see the general chat room, your trades room all at the same time. But the reason why I'm talking about this is I was talking to one of our traders about what it used to be, in the community before we started Forex Analytix. When I was with MB Trading and Ally Financial, and I was telling him, I'm like, I was paid to do 4 hours of webinars. Like I would, against my will, it'd be like I was just sitting there, and I would sit there for like hours, and we'd start talking about, how to trade and how to manage risk and a lot of that stuff. Where, now that we have a bigger team, one of the roles that Ryan and has really stepped in to fill is more of the educating a trader on how to navigate through some of these, navigate through the markets. And, it is in the future. And we've actually talked about this is, we are in the future going to be putting in an education room. So, those people that are new traders, they want to learn how the mechanics to trade. They can learn how to do it, because it is, do you think, Ryan, it's, and this would go for you too, Dale and Stelios, if you're here, you can also make mention of this too. It is a little daunting if you're a new trader and you're like, you don't know what you're doing, right? It's going to be a little daunting to be a new trader and come into a community, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And but what the thing is, when new traders come in, you can tell them a mile off, and they all have the same problem. All of them have the same problem. It's not being able to manage a trade or not knowing how to enter a trade. We get a lot of the, I'm in this position, it's offside, what do I do? And they think they're the only person who suffers from that. And that's what we need to break as a team of long-standing traders. We need to break the cycle of traders thinking they're alone and they're the only one who's ever made that mistake, and they're not. And that's why I encourage a lot in the chat room is to speak up. You've got no place for pride in this game. If you've done something wrong, if you fucked up a trade, if you don't know what to do,
did you just say the F word?
Yeah, I said the F word because
this is a kid's show.
I get very passionate
FFS.
about things like this. I get very passionate about things like this because
yes, you do. All
people need to speak up. And the conversation we had today was not with noobs, not with people who've been trading for 5 minutes. These are people who've been in your room for ages, Blake, who suffer these problems as well. We all do. We all suffer the same problems. And the whole point of a community is to share those problems, get through those problems. And, you can't have pride in this. You can't be embarrassed about it. It's either that or lose money. So what do you want? Your pride or your account?
Right. That's a great point. And that's why having, and this is something that we haven't implemented yet, but we will, having an education room where you can go in and say, hey, I've really struggled with, understanding how to adjust my stops. Can somebody help? Having a place to just, ask that, because it is a little daunting when you're in the general chat room and you can see there's like, 78 people in here right now. You go into the Forex flow room, there's 38 people in there right now. Then you go into the, news and research room and, there's like 45 people in there. You're like, well, gosh, it's embarrassing to jump in there and, and say something, having first of all, we have a community. So it's like, we try to make everybody feel comfortable. You should see the round robin that happens when we're just saying good morning. it's a little bit,
can't get used to that. Still can't.
It's yeah. So it's like, so it gets a little crazy in there, but just saying good morning in the morning to people or good afternoon as you're stepping in. So, but that's the thing about having a community, and it's evolving too. ForexAnalytix is evolving. This is Shoei, who's in the UK. He mentioned this. Here's Nitish. He had 100 pip euro dollar short. That was today. That was intraday. He's in Singapore, so he came in late last night. But check this out. I'm going to read Shoei's comments. And Shoei's in the UK. He stepped in just a little while ago. There, I'm going to. This is Alan, and he said, "If I had my 2 pence worth to say in early conversation, I can categorically say that ForexAnalytix has taught me patience, helped me with what to look for. I'm closing out my best week ever, and while I never copy trades from here, the dialogue helps so much from everyone all the greens and many others. I was told long ago not to trade alone, and my biggest success and growth has definitely come from being here when I can. Much gratitude. And then I said, man, that's a great testimony. Too bad it's going to be deleted this weekend. And he said, he said, true story, Blake. I always be grateful. And he just popped in out of, in the middle of our conversations and just wrote that. And I was like, man, that was really great. He just popped in right here, as we were posting charts and stuff this morning. So, having a community is so vitally important. It's so important to be able to just, talk to people and talk to like-minded people and be part of it. Speaking of like-minded people, what we should be doing instead of all this, and just, I guess the whole thing about talking about this is all that information is going to be deleted this weekend after years of building all that information. But it's going to start fresh, and we have a lot of new features coming up. We have development teams that work with us full time, guys, just so you guys know. It's not, you think, if you follow like certain groups and you're like, oh, I follow them, this dude because he does this blog and does this blah, 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 or this gal or whatever. We have a community. We have an app. We have a technology. We have a platform. We bring you news. We do calendars. We do active analysis coming throughout, like just, an hour ago, in the euro dollar fresh analysis that's exclusive to just our community. You have, setups, you have a chat room, we have private webinars that go on after this for $119 a month. And we have a development team that develops and works on our stuff all day long. We don't have just some live blog that you guys are tuned into. Not even close. We're actually relaunching the app after having it out for the last 4 years. So you guys will have more features on your mobile devices. And we have a team. So hopefully you guys just take advantage of, we make it cheap enough. I say cheap, affordable enough so every trader can be involved. We don't charge $500 a month, so we can only, we only have a select group of people that can actually afford to be with us every month. We don't do that. We make it affordable for everybody. So jump in.
What also is important, Blake?
What's that?
We want to know what our traders and the communities want from the platform.
Yeah, we sent out a survey.
Those that don't know, we've got a survey sent out to all our customers, all our traders.
That's right.
What they want to see on the platform, what they like, and what they don't like. Because we're not again pride. We're not too proud to hear from our customers what they don't like. Because
Dale, you should have been able to see the survey. It said, which team members do you not like, and then it only had one selection. It was Dale Pinkert. That was it. Like there was you didn't have an other. You couldn't fill in the words.
Was it a landslide vote?
It was a landslide vote. Everybody voted 100%. Just kidding. But Ryan, I just want to mention a couple things that are moving just ahead of the numbers. But Ryan is correct. We did put out, if you are a current subscriber of ForexAnalytix, your voice matters. I read every one. So does our entire team. And don't get nervous because of that. No, we do it because we care. And so, make sure
it helps.
It does help. All right. So a couple of things. Euro dollar got slammed. If you were just in the chat room just a moment ago, let me get over here. All right.
Got a smackdown.
Hold on. Yeah, I got a smackdown. But you know what happened? Gosh dang it. Where is it? Right here. Euro dollar may finally tag the 112.53, 261% extension. And I said, I didn't think it had it in it. Here's the chart. There's the extension right there.
Boom. Drive 2. And
boom, we bounced. I actually added a little bit of euros right there because I sold some yesterday at 113.50. So I added back what I sold. Now remember, I'm very small counter trend trading right now, but I added some down there. I didn't think we were going to reach it. Boom, we hit it.
Look at that divergence.
Yeah, big divergence. Now, also, I want to. We have Canadian retail sales coming up.
It bottomed on the eclipse.
I've been looking for the underside of this trend line and the 618 retracement at 126.65. If you guys are long, you have to be really careful. We hit a high of 126.62. We're coming off. Now, we might break that. And I wouldn't even be surprised because crude oil is so weak right now. But with Canadian retail sales, you got to be a little careful if you guys are, trading on the long side of the Canadian, and that's going to be on the long side of the dollar Canadian, short Canadian dollars. Just be careful because retail sales, I mean, if they come in strong, the dollar Canadian is going to be back to 126 pretty quick. Sorry, I got the hiccups. So anyway, just a little food for thought because we do have an ascending wedge. Just because we have an ascending wedge here doesn't mean it's going to stay an ascending wedge. What this could end up being, just FYI, what it could end up being is some sort of channel. So don't get all worked up that it's an ascending wedge and it's got to reverse. No, not necessarily. So the data is going to be the catalyst that's going to drive us above or below the 618, but it is the underside of that trend line. It is the 618. I'm sorry, Dale, you're talking about a lunar eclipse.
I'm all worked up.
Oh, well, we have a few minutes. Is Stelios not here today?
No.
I didn't hear him.
I'm here. I'm just
Gosh
enjoying.
dang, man, you didn't. Blake, we don't have news coming up. Or Blake, I have something to add.
In the bushes.
Blake, I want to add some value here. Nothing like that today.
I was just enjoying all the nice things you were saying, and by the way, nobody mentioned me, right?
Yeah,
so
that's
I don't
exactly
help
what
anybody.
If we would have mentioned your name, it wouldn't have been so nice. So, no, anyway, joking, Stella.
Jokes
So,
aside,
what's happening? What's happening?
Well, it's European lockdown starting again. Austria is starting, right? So, and Germans, Germany are considering it. So
that would be a pretty big negative, right? I mean, Austria is one thing, Germany is another.
Of course.
Austrians make some great weapons, by the way. I love Austrian weapons. I have one. Yeah. But anyway, sorry.
By the way, did you guys see the German PPI number this morning? Year on year, 18.4%. No inflation there coming to any products, at all. So that was pretty big. It was expected to go up from 14% to like 16. It went up to 18.4. Norway GDP beat by a mile, up from 1% to 3.8. Expected 3.3. So we had some interesting numbers and
interesting to say the least.
Yes, and we just have now Canadian retail sales to finish the week in 2 minutes.
This is German producer prices, just so you can see a nice little chart of what.
Apparently, the previous high, similar high, was something like 1959 or some kind of decades before.
Oh my goodness!
Gonna need a bigger screen for that chart soon.
Yes. Hey, just in case if you guys are playing the Canadian, just with the retail sales coming out, this is a 15-minute chart, right? I mean, if you're long, you just have to be careful beneath here. I don't think
if you're long, take half.
Well, yeah, you could do that too. I just showed you the key resistance we're at, right? And just look at this euro. Look at the bounce out of the euro. I'm sorry, Ryan. What were you saying?
If you want to take an example of how the community works, I didn't know about your trend line there in dollar CAD, and I'm long dollar CAD. Oh, so that's that 65 level. I'm going to keep my eye on it now.
Yeah, I mean, this is
the power of community. See,
it is the power of community, and I try to tell people I get probably
half.
No, maybe even 2/3 of my trade ideas come from just people in the community just talking about things, and I'll tell people like, hey, thanks for the heads up there, and I mean, especially like bringing K-Man in to the fold has been great because he looks at a lot of stuff that I really enjoy. I like to look a lot at the more exotic stuff. I mean, it's because it's sexy volatility movement stuff that we get in the FX market where you're just not going to get when you're trading the euro dollar. Now, well, now we're seeing some more volatility. I'm just saying that that's the kind of stuff, but bringing his expertise has been really great. Being able to see other things too. So, Stelios, what do we got for Canadian data is coming up? Hold on, here it is.
About 5 seconds. Expecting core retail sales -1% month on month.
This is included with ForexAnalytix, by the way. So just FYI.
And
Let's see.
it's weird. Recently, data not on our platform in general. It's slow. It's been slow.
It has been coming.
been
It must be
hasn't it?
strong data because look at the Canadians actually slipping
go.
through here. You see it, Ryan, on Bloomberg?
No, new housing
Housing,
price index
yeah.
up 0.9% from 0.5 expected. Retail sales. Oh, but I can see the flash estimate for next month up 1%, but we don't know what it is for September.
Oh, here it goes.
minus 0.2, so versus minus 1% expected. So that's strong.
Oh, yes, less
Core
crap
number.
than expected.
Less, yeah, exactly.
Oh, was that better than expected?
We're expecting minus 1%.
Oh, we were okay.
Core.
It just didn't
Yeah.
show up here on Data Flash, but yeah, I see. We're expecting. So it's actually a strong Canadian data.
Yeah, they're expecting October up, the flash estimate of up 1%.
Okay. Well, we're seeing a little bit of slippage. Dale, did you have a guest coming in today? It's Friday.
Yeah.
You
No,
normally
I
you
mean,
don't. I'm just
you know,
asking if.
I'm the moon man today.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about let's talk a little bit more about a few things going back to like the ForexAnalytix community, and I want to talk a little bit about how it is somewhat daunting if you're a new trader, you know, to come in our community and just, you know, you got people posting trades and, you know, everybody like, you know, here's Raj, you know, he's saying good morning to everybody. It's like, oh man, these people know everybody. These people, I mean, there's people in here. Nitish, I've been chatting with Nitish in our community for probably 8 years. Benedict, maybe 10, 9 to 10. Amanda's been in our community now for 5 years. You know, Laura G, she's new. Timo's been there for a couple of years. He's in some Pacific Islanders. Simon's been here probably for 4 years. And so I know it's daunting. I mean, Jane's been here now for probably a good year and a half. You know, there's a lot of people that are communicating. Dominic's been in and out of here for like the last 3 years. You know, it's a little daunting to jump in there and just say hi. But look, none of us bite. And really everybody's nice. And that's the thing that you have to realize about our community is we don't allow for a few things. First of all, if you're a jerk, you're going to be put in your place really quick by people. I mean, I see people, you know, like if you're not friendly, like if you're just, you know, aggressive, people will be like, they'll jump on you. So, you know, just realize people are really, really nice here. And because it is a community, we foster that. We don't talk politics. We don't talk unless it's Greek politics. That's it. And UK politics from time to time too, because you guys are funny when you guys start
The
screaming.
gals are your best security force, Amanda and Jane.
Yeah. Well, we have, you know, people in here that are, you know, that, you know, kind of,
it's their home. You know,
it's their home. Yeah.
Home.
This is everybody's house, and there's no selling a product. So, you know, we have a lot of people in here, but if somebody tries to come in and say, hey, you know, come buy my product here or there. Yeah. You're out immediately. We'll delete all your stuff and we kick you out and immediately, like without question. And then there's no direct messaging people. So if you got something to say, it goes out in public. We don't allow people to message one another unless we connect. We connect people like Tony is in Chicago. Rick, who's been in our community for 15 years, and Tony's been there for the last couple 2-3 years, but they were going to meet up to talk hockey and personally one-on-one. And, you know, they asked, hey, can you exchange our emails? And so I did it personally. I went out and emailed them together and said, hey, here you guys go. And then connected them. So we'll do that. But, you know, that's what our community is about. This is our home. This is our house. We
should be a bit clear though. We do talk about politics and stuff if it's related to markets. You know,
if it's related to markets, no. But you know, the political environment has been very
sour,
high and heavy the last few years. So we've tried to, you know, again, if I would step in and say, hey, be careful, President Trump is talking, because it might move the markets here, especially if he starts, harping on China. Comments like that are fine, but it's the people that come in and start, why do you vote this way? Why do you do this? And we're just like, boop, doop, you're gone. You know what I mean?
I've got three rules with politics. I'll talk about it if it's market moving, potentially market moving, or I can take.
Hold on, I'm sorry. Before you say this, Chad, you are a goofball. He's listening into the webinar right now. So he's listening right now. He thought this is the Amway, where you get Amway points. That's funny. All right. You're funny. All right. So anyway, go ahead. I had to acknowledge him being a goofball. I'm sorry, Ryan. What were you saying?
No, so I was just saying my rule on politics is I talk about it if it's market moving, potentially market moving, or I can take the piss out of someone. And that's about it. If I can laugh at Boris Johnson because he's got stuck on a zip wire, I'm all for that.
Well, you should have seen it when the Greek going through austerity measures, and then we had what's his nuts?
Varoufakis.
Varoufakis. Yeah, the guy on the motorcycle. I love that dude. That dude's awesome.
He's in elections every week.
I swear to God, I saw him the other day at the Harley Davidson store right down the street from my house, where all the we get like all the Harley Davidson people in all of the United States come to like a mile within my house, and then you can't hear anything because all their motorcycles are so loud. But I swear to God, I see that guy all the time. The same look, same dude, bald head. He's got like fuzzy dice hanging from his anyway.
Yeah.
that dude's awesome. Anyway, so I just wanted to mention that about our community. Don't feel. Please come in and say hi. And
look at them all there. Look at them. They're all taking the mic. They're all in the room taking the mic. Look.
Yeah, I know. They're just all laughing and having fun. So, look at you guys are all goobers. Anyway, I'm going to take you off because it's big screen. You never know what happens. People start talking about silly stuff. And, yeah, there's a guy that Matt that used to be in our chat room, and he always put up gifs of really pretty women in bikinis all the time.
I miss Matt. I really do.
Well, yeah, Matt, he traded for he traded for a small closed-end fund out of Greenwich, Connecticut, and he's a funny dude. I met up with him a couple of times for drinks, actually, once in New York City with a bunch of other ForexAnalytix community people. And then once on our own, just him and I. And when I was trading for Gelos back years ago. And so I met him a couple of times. He actually texted me I want to say 2 or 3 months ago, and he said hello to everybody. I told everybody in the chat room about this, but he said hello. But he's actually traveling the country in a van. He actually said, I'm taking a break from the markets because we were just in melt up. He's just like, I'm taking a break and I'm going to drive around, and hopefully I'll stop in Phoenix and I'll say hi to you when I come to Arizona. And I'm like, great. And he sent me the last text I got from him was of a bald eagle. That was it. Wow. So it's great. Yeah, crazy. Anyway, but I just
is that a real one, or is that
no? Yeah, he was up in Maine.
No, it's not.
He was he was in Maine, and he saw a bald eagle, and he filmed it and then sent it to me.
Nice.
Cool. But anyway, let's. Ryan, you were going to mention something market related, and I do want to mention that we just got a big bounce in the euro euro dollar. I just sold a little bit of my euro that I picked up this morning because it's like that was a quick 30 pips, so why not? So I just did that anyway. Ryan, what were you going to mention market related that we should be talking about?
Just we're looking at this risk off move at the moment. Bond yields are down.
Yeah.
I think perhaps the market is maybe going a little overboard on the virus situation. Yeah, it all sounds bad when you're talking about it and the way they're painting it in the press. But we do have vaccines. Governments are not going to want to lock down for a long period. They can't afford to politically. They can't afford to financially.
Great point.
So yeah. I'm looking to see whether there's a bit of overkill here. I'm not gonna lie. The euro looks horrible at the moment. It can't bounce for love nor money. We've seen that in stages now around 113, and it's suffered again. So there may be some more pain to come, but I'm beginning to get the feeling, maybe down towards 111, 110. If we see something like that, that's maybe where we start to pricing in, and we start looking at the end of year stuff, I think.
So look, and since you brought up the euro, and I agree with you wholeheartedly. Actually, the world really saw the ramifications of locking down. What happens during lockdown, right? You lock down a country, businesses, people. It really is paralyzing, right, to an economy. So people are going to want to avoid lockdowns, and I happen to live in a place where no one cares really about the virus. So, which is kind of unique, because I think people will look at us as being more of a case study than anything. But I think you're right, Ryan. I think it is a little overblown, and I think countries are going to be very, very hesitant to do extended periods of locking down, right? And so if you look at the euro, and I want to look at it technically, because I think this is a big deal. This is a weekly chart. Those are the highs from 2008. Then there's the highs from 2014. It was a big breakout point, and it also is a big support level. And that's the more important part, right? You take that, 13, 14-year trend line, right? And you look at how big the support is down here. While we're above, like, let's just say 128, I wouldn't want to be short euro yen. I just wouldn't. Now, if we get below here, much below 128, then you're talking about a risk of a much bigger break lower. But I would be very hesitant. Matter of fact, I wouldn't even mind being on the long side of the euro yen down here, especially. But I am long yen. I'm actually short dollar yen from this week, from up near 115, about 90 pips ago, actually. And I'm still in it. And I still think the euro yen has some downside here. We just hit the 618 and we're bouncing, but there could be a little bit more downside in the dollar yen, but I think the euro downside might even be done here for the day. So, I'd be a little hesitant about being short the euro. As Dale pointed out, a lot of divergence. Look at new lows in price, hella divergence intraday, right? So you got to be pretty careful there. Stelios, do you have anything that you want to mention before we wrap things up for Friday? Being in Europe and going back into lockdown, because Greece is going to go. You guys are going to have to wear your bubble suits.
Yeah, it's likely. Really, I don't have much to add. I mean, it's Friday, and I tend to not trust Friday moves as much as I trust other days. But let's not forget, we have potentially an announcement on the Fed chair this weekend, maybe.
Yeah, that's something I wasn't even thinking about with all this activity. That's a good point. So
we have to be careful, and I'm not going to be running much over the weekend, apart from my core positions. That is, so I'm taking it easy. So, yeah.
And I think let's actually talk a little bit about that, because that's a big deal. And I want to reiterate just my ideas here. If the Fed Chairman Powell is, renominated for his job, and it looks like he's going to keep, because he'll be affirmed, right? Then the market should rally, I would think, and it's going to be like more of a I'm not worried about the unknown anymore, because not knowing, the market gets a little nervous, right? One of the reasons why it's taken this long is because Biden has Brainerd on the radar, and he's probably, his administration is probably just trying to make sure that she can get confirmed if she is nominated, because that's what
the puppet masters.
Huh?
What? I mean the puppet masters.
Puppet master. Yes, the Biden puppet masters that are behind the scenes.
But they're really strings up and
but really, I mean, in all actuality, that's probably what's happening, right? It's like okay, she is, she's probably going to get
Kamala Harris over.
They're trying to confirm and make sure that she's going to be affirmed, or confirmed rather. Yeah. So,
I want Volge in there.
I'd like to get
then
Volge
we can
in there
get short everything. Huh?
He would, yeah. Then you'd say, well, I'm selling every crypto asset out there.
He'd make Volcker look like a choir boy.
Right. Okay. So yeah, anyway, it's a great point. And I do want to mention, if for some reason Powell is not announced today, by the end of today, you have to be really careful with open positions over the weekend, because one of the reasons why, if Brainerd is coming, one of the reasons why she's not being nominated right now at this very moment, could be they're looking for the votes, making sure she can be affirmed, but they might even say, well, screw that, we'll work on that afterwards, but we don't want to announce it during the week while the market's open. We're going to do it over the weekend to mitigate market reaction. So be really careful if we get to the end of today and Powell has not been announced. Be careful with that. Okay.
When
I hope that makes sense.
Gone Friday afternoon, major announcement.
What's that?
When everyone's gone and not paying attention, late Friday announcement.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Late Friday. Like, why not just wait for the markets to close in general?
That's what I mean. Late Friday.
Yeah. I mean, just, that's
evening news,
Yeah. I mean, that's important.
Announced 5 minutes before the stock market close. I'd love that.
I'm sorry, you were breaking up. What'd you say, Ryan?
I said announce Bullard as a left field pick 5 minutes before the close.
that would be something, right? That would be something.
Anyway, Blake, you've assembled the best team on the net. It's not just the software and the hardware, which is elite, but I can't think of a better team anywhere.
Well, thanks.
I saw a lot of action on Twitter and different, the people I bring in, they all have communities, and some of them have teammates, maybe one or two other people. And you've got really a team now. Could play baseball now.
We actually could form a football team. Almost. We almost have. Who's going to be the goalkeeper?
From when it started, bro.
Your son. Come on, your son.
We'll bring in my son. By the way, I'm really proud of that kid. But that's a story I tell to the Forex Analytics community, because I have more time to do that there. But thanks, Dale. One of the things about our team is it's everybody is all pulling for the same thing, and that's for the success of the individual trader. Yeah. And we're just trying to reshape the bell curve. I even had, when I was having the conversation with a very, very long time customer of Forex Analytics before it even started, back in the older community I was at, having a discussion with him, he's just like, hey, I fear for the new trader that they're just following trades in the trades room. And it's like, yeah, I understand what you're saying. We have to give something to everybody. So some people come into our community looking for, I just want to, follow what trades somebody's doing. But we also, that's why we're going to have an education room where people can come in and say, hey, I want to come in and I actually want to learn how to fish, because we want to be able to, teach you guys how to trade and help you sustain on your own, and then have a good community to boot. So anyway, thanks, Dale.
Cheers, Dale. And also a big thank you to all our community. Yes, we won't be nothing without them.
This is a true story.
Well,
technically, won't be nothing is a double negative. So
I know. As soon as I said it, I was like, oh my god, it's Friday. Let me off. I'm going to the pub. Coach is the man.
Did you know
the bell, coach? We can go down the pub now.
Stelio, did you know I'm an author? I'm a published author. I'm going to correct you on everything.
No. So everyone have a great weekend.
You guys have a great one.
Peel off a few bucks if you haven't even tried the trial, and get ready for Thanksgiving week. I don't know. It's kind of a choppy week coming up. But after that, we have clear sailing till Christmas. I think we're going to have some wild markets in December. Yeah. What do you think, Blake?
I'm hoping so. Everybody's expecting like the Christmas Santa Claus rally. Don't forget, Santa Claus rally could be the day after Christmas to New Year's. I always have to remind people of that. I've been in markets over the last 20 years where you see selling, and yeah, that Santa Claus rally does come, but it's like you actually hit your chimney first, dropped off all the gifts to your kids, then you get the Santa Claus rally. So
I wish I would have been naughtier this year, Blake. Santa can't afford the coal.
well, hopefully, yeah, I know. It's like Santa can't afford
no coal in your
funny.
stocking this year.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Thanks,
everybody.
Don't just count your pips, count your blessings. What a great community to be with in a difficult psychological endeavor, which trading is. So good to have support of a community. Join us and have a great weekend, everyone. Adios, team.
Cheers, guys.
See you, everybody.
Good
Cheers,
week, guys.
Bye, guys. Thanks, Dale.
See you guys.